Buckle up. This is Musicians and Beyond with Sarabian and Lawhorn, where we bring in the backstage info on the life, the lyrics, and the long journeys of the music industry. Mark, last week we had John Savannah.
John Savannah, formerly with Squeeze from the 80s. Fantastic artist. Incredible.
Guy's unbelievable. He's best known for Tina Turner, but he's played with Van Morrison, Roger Daltrey, Boy George, just to name a few.
Well, he's best known for Squeeze.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and he made it very known to us that it's John with two N's.
With two N's. John with two N's.
Yeah, John Savannah. If you haven't heard that episode, please go back, Musicians and Beyond, check out John Savannah. And today, not only is it a special day for one reason, but there's a lot of reasons. Today is our next guest's 17th birthday, and
it's his album release, and it is coming out today. Tell us a little bit more about the album.
We got Gavin Marengi here with us today, Mark, and he has a new album coming out today, so make sure you go and download it. Check out his swag at gavinmarengi.com, and it's North Winds, and it's a 8-song album, and this is, you can tell us about it. Is it your second album?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on the show.
It's great having you.
It's an honor to be here.
Great having you back, one of our past guests as well.
We're back. We're back.
Yeah, you know, Gavin, what a difference 2 months make. You were here 2 months ago.
Yes.
And, you know, young kid come in and you were trying to find your name. Now you're, you know, headlining and selling out, you know, theaters and having people open up for you. That's really impressive. You got a lot of good things happening for you.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for the kind words. But yeah, it's been fun. We've been on a cool run here. Me and my band, we've been playing a couple big shows and just having a blast.
Yeah.
Where we can take it.
Where have you played recently? I'm sorry, John.
No, that's okay. Just recently you played with one of our past guests, Samantha Ray,
Yes,
and Jay Delasola.
And they are phenomenal musicians and incredible. It was awesome to hear, wow, your opening act was really good. Wow, Samantha and Jay, they're unbelievable. And, you know, heard that a lot, so it's good to hear that, and I agree with everything they said. And yeah, we played the Cut in Gloucester. It was a great show. Sold a good amount of tickets, and I'm grateful for the people that came out, and it was a great show.
How is it working with your group in the studio and putting that new album?
New album, North Winds. It's out now. You can go stream it anywhere. But yeah, basically when we're in the studio, we probably spent over 100 hours on this album. We took a lot of time into these 8 songs and really made them to the full potential that they can be, and we brought them to, you know, be full potential pretty much. And it was a blast, but it was a long process. We started in August when we went to the studio for the first time with the band, and we recorded 4 songs, 4 of the 8, and we pretty much got those up to ready to go, and then we recorded another 4 songs, and we brought those ready to go, and now we're here, and it's released, and it's a big weight lifted off.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Yeah.
How's it feel to have that out there?
It feels real good.
What's more exciting, that it's your birthday today or that the album came out today? Or is that your birthday present?
Yeah, it's a birthday present to myself.
Awesome.
It's also exciting that I'm going golfing today.
Oh, great.
That's also exciting.
Great. So you are the front man. You're the, you know, main guy, the Gavin Marengi band. Mm-hmm. But you have a great band behind you. Can you tell us who's in the band?
So I have my dad. He's a guitar player in my band, and I always like to start with that one. People like to hear that.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good too.
He's not bad. He's pretty good. Not to, you know, pump his ego or anything. But yeah, he's pretty good. My bass player, AJ Pappas, incredible bass player. He's toured the world like 20 times. I mean, he's been touring for like 20 years.
Wow.
And then I got a new drummer, Kemp Dunn, who's a beast. He's from Beverly. He's an unbelievable drummer. And then I have my producer, Tim Phillips, who also plays in my band. He plays lap steel, the banjo, the guitar. He'll play anything that we need him to play. He's a phenomenal musician. Yeah.
It's great, and you guys all mesh unbelievably, and, you know, we've gotten some sneak peeks and some snippets at your music, and, I mean, we're just blown away.
Always are. Whenever you step in with your guitar and do something, it's pretty cool to watch it happen. Where's your next show?
My next show is at the Goat in Manchester. We're down there June 21st, or up there June 21st. That'll be a fun one. It's a really cool place. And then we're hitting July 25th, which is the Blue Ocean, which is, if I recommend you come out and see a show, all year. It's the Blue Ocean, July 25th. I think that every year it's the hometown show in Salisbury. So we get a real nice crowd there, and
It's a great venue.
it's an unbelievable venue.
Yeah, it's a great
I love
venue.
that place. Sounds amazing, feels amazing, looks amazing.
There you go. And they got amazing talent coming in.
Well, thank
So
you.
any of our listeners or viewers that want to find out, go to gavinmarengi.com, and he has a section there where he's going to be playing next. And also swag. You just got some new swag and all that
Yeah, we got
stuff.
some-
I mean,
we
you're
got
like,
some swag.
you have more stuff than Kenny Chesney does on his website. I mean, this is great. You got girl shirts, boy shirts, all different
Yeah, we do.
sweatshirts, hoodies. I like it.
Sweatshirts. Yeah, the shirts are comfy, I have to say.
Yeah,
I do
they're
wear
great.
mine a lot.
They're great. So you got 8 songs on the new album.
I do.
And, you know, did you have to pick those 8 from a whole bunch, or did you conjure up those 8 for the album?
Yeah, so I probably started off like writing this album last summer, and I would say like in the summer I write like 5 songs a week, and not all 5 songs a week are good songs. So I basically record everything I have, and I have like a small group of people that'll let be the judge of it, and I'll also listen to it in the car, and I'll be like, is this song gonna have a good vibe when I'm driving down Salisbury Beach in the summertime? You know what I mean? Or something like that. But I pick the songs, you know, what comes together best.
What's your writing process like? How do you go through coming up with the songs? Do you come up with one key line and then build off of that, or is there a story behind it that you like to watch develop?
So that's a good question. Sometimes I'll have a good line and I'll think of a line in my head, or I'll think of like a melody in my head.
Yeah.
And I'll try and figure it out. But normally everything starts on the guitar. I go right from there, and then I'll write lyrics around it. Because once I feel like I build a bass down at the rhythm section with the guitar, then I'll build a song around it with the lyrics and kind of write the stories out.
That's pretty cool.
So one of my the songs that I heard, I just got to double check it here, but yeah, "Come Back to Me."
Mm-hmm.
That was one that popped out to me. Is that something that you'd be willing to play for our viewers and listeners?
Definitely.
Let's do it. This is
I
Gavin
love it.
Marengi with "Come Back to Me."
Well, I walked home that night in the middle of a storm. All the sidewalk was slippery, could see up the road. Well, we sat there on the water's edge, smiled eye to eye. Oh, her hair was soaking wet from the rain falling sky. And well, we came up to the stone, and my legs fell from me. Smashed my head against the sidewalk and banged up my knee. But we sat there laughing, you and me, till we lost our air and couldn't breathe. To the days we felt free. Into the days we felt free. All the miles between you and me. I shed a tear on a lost memory. Can those days come back to me? Come back to me. Well, we were bored and sitting around this table in this town, playing cards and wishing the rain would leave. Well, thunder crashed right outside and the clouds zipped across the sky. But man, your hopes as can be. Well, the hours went by, say goodbye to the night. Oh man, we were restless of this room. All the couch cushions caving in, swinging tables getting thin. But man, to the days we felt free. Into the days we felt free. All the miles between you and me. I shed a tear on a lost memory. Can those days come back to me? Come back to me. Into the days we felt free. All the miles between you and me. I shed a tear on a lost memories. Can those days come back to me? Come back to me.
Wow, the birthday
Thank
boy, Gavin Marengi, 17-year-old, 17 years old today
That is right.
with his
17
new
years
album.
old.
Awesome. Come back to me, Gavin Marengi. Check him out. Go to his website and download some music, buy a vinyl. So can you tell us a little bit about that song that you just played for us? How you come up with the lyrics and stuff?
Yeah, so this song has like multiple different like stories and behind it. My buddy, we used to spend like every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays together because my mom actually babysat him, and since we were like before 1, and we've been best friends ever since. And that's what that whole like we were bored and sitting around this table in this town playing cards and wishing the rain would leave. You know, we were young and we would get bored if it was raining outside, so you know we went outside. And then I have a chunk of it's about my dog, my old dog Lily. She passed away, and a lot of people think like the first line is talking about a person when it's like we walked home that night in the middle of a storm. Oh, the sidewalk was slippery, couldn't see up the road, but we sat there on the water's edge, smiled eye to eye. Her hair was soaking wet from the rainfall from the sky. It's not about a person, it's about a dog. So anybody at home that think that's about a person, it is not. It's about a dog, Lily. You know?
It's pretty cool that you can take childhood memories and turn it into a song that can be interpreted in so many ways that adults, there's a depth to your songs that really is interesting for coming from a 17-year-old.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's what I hope when I write a song, that people can kind of take it and put it into their own lives. Like, I feel like that chorus is one of my favorite choruses I've ever written, just because it's like to the days we felt free, all the miles between you and me. I mean, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, those 2 lines there. So I hope they can at least.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I have no doubt they do.
So the music you come up with, like, do you write it all yourself?
I do. It's my favorite thing to do is write, whether it's music or poems, or back in the day, like since second grade, I used to write like a lot of poems and like books and stuff, and not knowing that I was going to be writing songs like a couple years later. But
Those poems you wrote when you were younger, are you translating those to songs? Is it easy to take a poem and make it a song?
I do feel like writing poetry and writing music is a lot the same, but I feel like back in the second grade, my poems weren't that great. So I haven't really.
So at a young age, you're all of a sudden you're starting to really get some traction and your name's getting to be known out there. How are you handling that?
You know, we're always looking to go to the next step and the next level. So never really satisfied with where we are now. We're just looking to get better. And actually, it's kind of funny. We went to a concert the other day at Hampton Beach Casino, and it was one of the greatest concerts I've ever seen in my entire life. I've been to some stadium shows where I wasn't even as blown away as I was this show. Charlie Crockett, he was live at Hampton Beach, and it was unbelievable. And at the end of the show, he was like talking about how he's gonna be twice as good next time. Like, that was his ending line. He's like, I'll see you next time, Hampton Beach, and I'll be sure to be twice as good. And that resonated, you know. Be twice as good every time you see him.
Yes.
So let's talk more about you and your album,
Mhm.
because it's coming out today and it's already getting talk and some interest. I mean, you came right from, and I'm going to give him a shout out because he has probably the second best podcast, because who's the first best?
Looks like you're making it so that I have to say this one.
Good answer. No,
That's called a leading question.
Drew Mulholland is a tremendous, radio guy, and you literally just came from an interview with him right here.
Yeah,
and you're in demand.
We started down in Newburyport today, and we hit the afternoon drive, and then a little short segment on WBZ, and then now we're here.
Yeah, awesome. So make sure you check out Drew Mulholland's show, The Afternoon Drive, because you're awesome and you're going to be a guest. But he has some other tremendous guests as well.
Yeah,
so
he does.
I'd like to give him
He
a
puts
shout
on a great show. He's really great. He poses some great questions. He gets you out there and lets you highlight what you're doing. And he's an amazing guy, really is. And he's an incredible talent on air.
Deserves it.
Speaking of Jeff Batson, Jeff was just on some friends of ours podcast just recently. He was on It's Another Sunday podcast, right? And so we should make sure we hook Gavin up with everyone over there.
Debbie and Jerry.
Yeah, make sure that they get them on, because Jeff had a great show there. You'll have a great time with Debbie and Jerry. They're a lot of fun. They love to get into your music and into your background, and they do a great job on their podcast. So if you have a chance, go over and listen to Jerry and Debbie on It's Another Sunday podcast.
That's how we talk.
I heard him the other day. He goes, "They like to make fun of me over there. We're not making fun of you. We're imitating you, and that's the best form of flattery, Jerry."
Yeah, there you go. That sounded like another challenge, though.
That it is.
It is definitely another challenge.
The good thing about Jerry and Debbie is they follow through on it. If I say we got to get you on the show, John, we've put a number of people on their show, and they always follow through and get you on there.
They really do.
Really good people.
That would be
Have
awesome.
a good show. Awesome. You have another song, Restless Legs.
I do.
That's a cool song.
Funny story. I believe that this was the first song I wrote for this album, because I released it on TikTok. I posted it on TikTok like before the Southbound album was released, like last January, and finally it's coming out, or it is out. So, want me to play it?
Yeah, would love. Mark, you want to hear it?
I think it's a wonderful time to hear another song, because you know what? This is a music podcast.
This is a
Let's hear it.
I'll play a song called Restless Legs. Well, I guess I'd rather die than make it out of this town alive, because everyone keeps talking about the hell on the other side. And well, I can cause a storm, but I'd rather not. Just let the rain clouds form, the funnel cloud appears, and we all disappear. I guess that's what it's like around here. And well, those restless legs ain't made for resting, and a heart like yours ain't made for testing. So get up off the ground, young man, there's hope for you. God has a plan, so buddy, ride with me. You were lost, now you found. Pick your hopes and dreams right off the ground, 'cause I'll show you around this small town, all the rights and wrongs, ups and downs. And so don't rest till it's time to fly, and don't stop until you touch the sky, 'cause we all know who does it best when those restless legs ain't made to rest. And well, our sister was out on a Friday night with a bunch of boys you wish you could find. They all just seemed a little bit bigger than life. And well, they came back and crashed at your home. You whacked around and bullied to the bone, but your heart was made of stone, and you were stronger than life, life as they'd known. And well, those restless legs ain't made for resting, and a heart like yours ain't made for testing. So get up off the ground, young man, there's hope for you. God has a plan, so buddy, ride with me. You were lost, now you found. Your hopes and dreams right off the ground, 'cause I'll show you around this small town, all the rights and wrongs, ups and downs. And so don't rest till it's time to fly, and don't stop till you touch the sky, 'cause we all know who does it best when those restless legs ain't made to rest. They ain't made to rest. And well, our sister was out on a Friday night with a bunch of boys you wish you could find. They all just seemed a little bit bigger than life. And well, they came back and crashed at your home. You whacked around and bullied to the bone, but your heart was made of stone, and you were stronger than life, life as they know.
Gavin Marengi, Restless Legs. You know, Mark, I can hear that. You know, when you go into these big office buildings or, you know, these big stores and the music is piped all through, I could hear that playing. You know, one of our sponsors, TCS Communications out of Salisbury, that's what they do is they go in and they put all the media throughout buildings and so forth.
And they do it up at venues.
Thing, you know, for a song to get out there, you know, we're seeing the whole spectrum of the songwriting in, you know, putting a band together to, you know, the people behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
You know, doing the piping in of the music and the tweaking of everything.
Absolutely. And as Gavin's dad, Terry, also, you know, speaking of the people behind the scenes, Maeve and Dane are in the control booth right now, making us sound good from there. And we are at WinCam Studios in Winchester, one of the local access TVs. And Terry happens to be the vice president of his local access TV up in Salisbury. So that's a pretty cool connection right there. And pretty cool knowing that he also supports the local talent and local station where he's from. And stations do for them. Go out and check them out because there's educational opportunities, there's music opportunities, there's television. There's a whole host of things that go into that. And it's pretty cool to see them working behind the scenes, making us sound and look good.
Yeah, well, maybe sound good.
It's a lot of work for them. So let me ask you, Restless Legs. You know, a lot of people, you know, hear that, and you've got kind of restless legs because you're not just doing music, you're golfing. You're a high school goaltender for your hockey team.
Yeah.
And that's something pretty cool to think that as a high school student, you're out playing shows, but you're also, you finish a show, you might be going to play for, you know, throw on the pads and sit in the net and save a few goals. How's that feeling when you're bouncing between things like that? You're kind of in an adult world, but you get to go play back in the sandbox for a while.
You know, it's funny. One time I remember we played a solo show at the Nash Bar in Boston, and I had just come from a playoff hockey game that we lost. It was a fall league, so, you know, I was pretty sad that we lost in playoffs, but I had to go muster up the energy to get an hour drive and pull into the Nash Bar and play a set. And it was kind of funny because I told the story. I was like, yeah, I just came from a hockey game, and I think it it made people maybe listen a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. I love playing hockey, and I love golf.
Anytime you can play up your hockey in Boston, people are going to pay attention, right? I mean,
exactly.
and you guys had a pretty good year. You played well.
Yeah, we did. We didn't do too bad. Not as good as we hoped, but it was not that bad.
It's the beauty of high school hockey is it's always fun. Win or lose, you're out there doing something with your boys and having a great time, and it's a pretty great experience that you're going to look back on.
It is great. I love being part of the team. And
all right, so those restless legs out on the golf course, how good are you at golfing?
Depends on the day. You know, if it's a good day, then maybe good. If it's a bad day, then the ball doesn't go where I want it to go, and I get frustrated, and the clubs usually get thrown farther than the ball goes.
I hate that. I'm afflicted with that same thing. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. What else are you doing for yourself outside of music, outside of golf and hockey? What do you do?
I like to boat. I like to fish.
All right.
Do that kind of thing. You know, not too much besides. In the summertime, I like to keep it low key. Play shows, a lot of music, a lot of songwriting, a lot of boating, a lot of fishing.
How often do you and the band get together to rehearse and go over things and look at new music?
Usually once a week when we're playing, but we play a lot, so we're always playing together. And you know, if I have like a new song that we're gonna learn, we'll get together and do a rehearsal, and you know. But for the most part.
Now, with your dad being in the business he's in and the music industry as well, when you go home and it's time for bed, does he like go into a control room and dim all the lights in the house and set it up like and you hear him from like a giant speaker in the corner? Yeah,
it's kind of funny when he has it set up so that when he arrives at home, all the lights turn on for him. it's automatic. So, like, we'll be sitting in the kitchen with, like, the lights dimmed. We'll be watching a show, me and my mom and my sister and the two dogs. And Dad will be, like, at a meeting or something. He'll come home, and then all of a sudden, all the lights turn on, and we know, hey, he's in the driveway. He's about to come in.
That is pretty funny. Well played.
Yeah.
Now that your album is out, what is the next step that you do? You're going to go out and you're going to promote the album.
Yes.
Do you start writing new songs yet? Do you wait? How does this whole thing work?
Yeah, I think I've been writing new songs since the last studio session. I just keep writing. winter season, I slow down a little bit because we got hockey and there's not like too much to write about, unless I write about getting scored on. But I don't want to do that. But no, summer season is like where I start to like the music really kicks in full effect and I start writing more songs, and I probably have another, a good batch of songs, not good songs.
And why is that? Why is it seasonal?
I think more stuff's going on in the summer. I mean, I think when you're like traveling around and playing a lot of shows and doing all these type of things, like I think you draw more inspiration to write, and
So basically, you'll come across something or see something or hear something and go, "Wow, that'll be a great song." And
yeah. Or
just hit it.
You know what happens? It's kind of funny is I'll like sit down to write because I'll have like days where I'm like, okay, let's sit down and write, and I pretty much do it every day actually. But I'll like be writing and then I think about something, but then it like might change to something else. Like it might stem into like, oh, I remember then that happened, and then that'll stem into something else that happened, and I write about it all and kind of put it into a song, and that's kind of how that works.
Well, that's pretty cool. So I just thought of something. My brother and I just yesterday picked up a 1993 Winnebago 36-footer, and we're gutting it and turning it into a bar, and it's going to go on the road, and we're going to have some fun with it. And one of the things I was thinking about is maybe doing a podcast episode on the tour bus someday, and we'll go out on tour with you and take you to some places and do some shows and cover that on the podcast. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
That would be incredible.
Well, if it's a bar, we can have him drive because he's not
That's
21
right.
yet. And there we go, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that sounds good to me. Give me the call.
I think we could have a lot of fun doing a little summer series off the 36-footer there.
I think that would be really cool.
Everything you do is fun.
I just had another idea, and I'm going to talk about it after the show. It's something that happened while we were out. We went to the Indy 500.
Did you?
And we drove out there, picked up some friends in Cincinnati, and on the way over from Cincinnati to Indianapolis, we stopped to get gas. Mm-hmm. And one of the big jokes is we always stop at a liquor store and load up the coolers on our way from Cincinnati over, and we get this, what we call a bucket of fun. And it's a margarita bucket with a spout on it, and you add tequila and you add ice, and there you go. There's your bucket of fun. So we came up with we were at a gas station filling up, and one of the guys looked out, and there we were on pump number 4. And we've already got the bucket of fun going, and we were loading it up with ice and everything. And we came up with the idea of a song called Party at Pump Number 4. We may have to see if you can make that come to life for us.
Might have to do that. I have to, I'll keep that in mind, right in my mental notes.
There's a party at Pump Number 4. And I thought,
that's fun.
This might work. I'm not like you.
This guy has it all. He's the whole package.
He certainly is. I don't even have a cowboy hat.
Well, you got to get one.
But I do have a Boston Celtics hat. And tonight,
Celtics.
The release of your album came out tonight, North Winds, or today. And then tonight, we have the Boston Celtics playing in Game 3. Let's see how that goes for us. And let's hope we have 2 winners here.
Yeah, there we go. Let's hope the Celtics sweep.
Yeah, we'll see how their life is worth living.
That's a good one.
Ooh, sounds like a segue to me.
That's a segue to me. So Gavin has another song that is one of the best on the album. I mean, I don't even know how to pick what I think is the best one because they're different in their own ways, but they're all tremendous. But this song, "Life Worth Living," is a great song. So
yeah, I like to tell a story about this one whenever I play it. It's like my most meaningful song, I think. I wrote about my grandfather. He died to lung cancer in 2014, and I basically wrote the song about my childhood and about him. But it's called "Life Worth Living." Well, I walked in that evening. You were sitting in your chair, felt the breeze of cold air next to a life left in despair. And well, we talk until the clock strikes 2, then go on home to the bed sheets of blue, just to have a nightmare of losing you. And well, I couldn't fall asleep. until my parents tucked me in, said goodnight, and sweet dreams they would turn a frown into a grin. And will I still hear them walking on the floorboards that creak, and in the living room light left on lights up my rosy cheeks. And well, Mom, the ghost in the window's talking again, telling me stories from way back when about him and my dad still kicking. And well, Mom, the ghost in the window's talking again, telling me stories from way back when about a life worth living. But now he's just blown in the wind, in the wind, in the wind, in the wind. Oh, I remember the weather when it got so damn hot. We go down to the pool and swim until that sun drops. We play catch in the rain and jump in puddles till they drain. And the best part about life, we wouldn't know our lives in pain. And well, Mom, the ghost in the window is talking again, telling me stories from way back when about him and my dad still kicking. Well, Mom, the ghost in the window is talking again, telling me stories from way back when about a life worth living. But now he's just blowing in the wind, in the wind, in the wind, in the wind. Well, Mom, the ghost in the window is talking again, telling me stories from way back when about a life worth living.
Awesome. Gavin Marengi, Life Worth Living,
Thank
off his brand spanking new North Winds album.
Yeah, it's true. GavinMarengi.com. You can buy tickets. You can buy merch. You can check us out. Me and the band. We have a good time up there, and I think if you go to a show, you're gonna have also a very good time.
So, Gavin, this will be your second time going down to Nashville.
Yes,
right?
it will.
You played down there before your album was out, and what did you do when you were there last time? What did you get out of that trip?
I learned that there are a lot of really, really, really good musicians out there. I played a place called the OGB, as what the Nashville people call it. It's called it's the basement, and it's like the original one, and it's this place, and it's like, I'd say like maybe 8-foot ceilings.
Wow.
Maybe. And it's legendary though, and I was super grateful to play it. Tyler Childers has a residency there before his album Purgatory came out. And Chris Stapleton played there, Sturgill Simpson played there, and it's actually where Metallica got their start. So it was like you could feel the legends in the air, and it was an honor to be there.
That's pretty cool.
Grateful to be there.
That is really cool. So you just mentioned a few names. Who are the biggest musical influences for you?
I'd definitely say that Chris Stapleton is top 3, if not one. Chris Stapleton, I love Zach Bryan. I love Jason Isbell. Lucas Nelson. Zach Top, who I just recently discovered. Should have discovered him in 2019 when he came up with his first song, but he's unbelievable. He's like this unbelievable guitar player, front man. If you don't know him, you should definitely.
What about a guy named Terry Marengi?
Oh, yeah.
Any influence there?
Yeah, definitely. Playing in bands all his life and lived down in Austin, Texas. And, he did the circuit. He toured and he did that whole thing. And definitely.
Is that basically how you got into the whole music thing?
Definitely. We always had guitars around the house. And I remember like trying to pick it up like when I was wicked young, but it didn't really it didn't click. And I didn't continue with it until like I broke my hand in like 6th grade, and that's where I started to like really play. Like
that's
it
pretty
clicked,
cool.
And I was like, "This is amazing. This is awesome. So that's when I started to play.
It's pretty funny, your relationship with your dad. It comes out in the last conversation we had. Dad was there with us, and today, you're able to have some fun with them and enjoy that. You're out on the road playing with them all the time.
Yeah.
It creates a different kind of bond, but a very special one. That's pretty unique, and a lot of people on the road don't get to experience that kind of a relationship with their dad. So good for you.
It's cool. I think we harmonize pretty good too. I've heard around that people like when family members harmonize.
Yeah.
Like, I like when Willie Nelson and family plays. They always sound like incredible together.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that
You guys can bring that too, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That's great. What else do you want to tell our listeners and viewers?
I did this earlier today too, but I want to give a shout out to the Hodgies in Salisbury. They created a Southbound Sunday at their ice cream stand. So it's the local ice cream stand in Salisbury, and there's a Southbound Sunday. It's pretty good.
Love it.
I had a couple of them. Real good.
Awesome.
So anybody in if you're passing through the Salisbury area, maybe going to the beach, it's like maybe a 3-minute drive from the beach, and you can get yourself a Southbound Sunday, and it is pretty good.
And that's named in honor of you.
It is.
That's kind of cool.
And we're excited about the release of your new album, North Winds.
Thank you.
I imagine you've got to be pretty stoked about that. And
I'm stoked. Once again, the album is called North Winds, and it's out everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you like it, anywhere you stream. It's there. YouTube, SoundCloud.
we as we go out of this episode here, we want to thank you for coming in, and we want to thank Dane and Maeve and Kayla at WinCam Studios for being here and working with us and making us sound and look good and getting our show out there. And we also want to thank TCS Communications from Salisbury, Mass. We didn't hear North Winds.
I can play you North Winds.
Why don't we go out hearing Gavin Marengi play his new title track, North Winds?
Got to tune down a little bit here, but you know what? We'll do that.
We can't have him not play his title track.
We're going to pay him for a whole concert if we keep this up.
Like we said earlier, you have an unlimited budget. I absolutely love this song.
There's a cowboy sitting there on the pedal steel. He's a star in this town with an even keel, and wore a cigarette on his lip and a pistol down his head. As I sat there with my old 6-string in a bar in Boston without a drink, people traveling by the empty tables and dark street lights. But as the time stands still, and don't you blame it on the sleeping pills. And well, I saw you in a corner that night, shedding tears after light, like rainfall falls from the sky. So let go of what you know when the north winds blow. As you were resting on a railing cold, looking down upon the town below, people traveling by, rushing traffic, city life. As you got home and walked through your door and kicked your boots off on the hardwood floor, and you sat up in your bed and went through everything in your head. But as the time stands still, and And don't you blame it on the sleeping pills. And well, I saw you in a corner that night, and your eyes haven't been dry since the bars closed in time. So let go of what you know when the north winds blow. So let go of what you know when the north winds blow. And so let go of what you know when the north winds blow.
Gavin Marengi with his title track, North Winds.